Hey everyone, this is Mayur. Welcome to MLWorks. In this video, we'll be talking about autoencoders and we'll try to implement a simple autoencoder using TensorFlow. So, what is an autoencoder and for what applications do we use autoencoder for? So, autoencoder is a special type of a neural network, meaning what it tries to do is when you are training an autoencoder, the model tries to learn the input, what you are sending, and tries to regenerate that input as an output. Okay. So in such a case, for given an example of this particular architecture, if you see there is an image of handwritten digit, okay, and you pass it to an encoder network, which is one of the module of autoencoder, and that particular encoder will try to understand the pixels of your handwritten digit and try to compress that into a lower dimensional latent representation. For example, if you have a input of 784 floating point numbers, it tries to compress that into a form of 64 floating point numbers. And then that is called as bottleneck layer. The 64 floating point numbers is called as your lower dimensional latent representation. And this lower dimensional latent representation is again decoded using another neural network called as decoder, and that gets decoded into an output which is similar to an input which we have sent. So during the learning phase, what it tries to do is it tries to reduce the reconstruction error. For example, if I'm sending an image of one digit, I'm trying to generate an image of one digit. So while during the training process, it tries to make a perfection between the input and the output while reducing the reconstruction error. So with that, what we'll do is we'll implement the autoencoder using TensorFlow. So first we'll do something called as importing of packages. So we'll need TensorFlow and some basic libraries for visualization and some libraries for evaluation and some for dataset. So let me first import the package. So once the package is imported, we'll be loading the dataset fashion MNest. And if you look at this particular line, okay, it is given dot load data. It will try to download the dataset from the remote repository and store it locally. And it is stored in Xtrain and Xtest. And it is normalized. So since it is a black and white image, it has value ranging from 0 to 255, one channel. Okay, so when you divide by 255, you will be getting normalizing the values to 0 to 1. Okay, and if once we run this, we'll see there are 60,000 images of dimension 28 cross 28 and 10,000 images which is X test, again 28 cross 28. Next, we'll initialize a class for autoencoder where we pass the latent dimension, which is your bottleneck layer, the encoder network, and the decoder network. Encoder network tries to take in this input and turn it into a dimension of 784 by using flatten, and then that is passed to a dense layer network, and we have activation function. And the decoder is again a dense function, dense layer, and then we learn activation is sigmoid, and then we have to reshape that into 28 cross 28 again, because at the end we want to generate an output which is an image again. So that's why we reshape that into an image size of 28 cross 28 once again. So here we have a call method where we run the process that happens, right? Encoder, it takes the input, and then that output of the encoder is passed to the decoder. So that's what happens here. Now here we pass the shape and we pass the dimension, and here we call the class autoencoder class. And once this is done, a class will be defined, autoencoder is defined, and then we compile this and we pass in the optimizer that is required for training the model, and we also pass what is the loss function that we use for calculating the loss between the estimated output and the input what we pass. Okay, so we do that here using compile function, and then here what we do is autoencoder.fit, we pass in the xtest, xtrain, and xtrain. So what we have seen is in machine learning, what we do is xtrain and ytrain. Okay, ytrain is the label. In this case, since we want to generate the output which is same as the input, so the output is nothing but xtrain again. Okay, we are not passing anything like ytrain because we are trying to generate the input. So again, the output, the label in this case is xtrain, and the epochs is 10, and the shuffle, it will shuffle the data set, and validation test, again validation we have xtest and xtest again. Yep. Let us run this. Let's see, we have validation loss of 0.01 and 0.02. So it keeps reducing as we train one after another the epochs. It keeps reducing the loss function. The loss it's reducing. Let's see what happens. So once this is done, right, what we'll see is we can notice autoencoder.encoder xtest.numpy. So it will be in different format. Okay, TensorFlow will have it in different format, and we'll be turning that into a NumPy such that we can visualize that particular images. So let us encoded images and decoded images. Here, what we'll do is we'll try to plot the output of the trained model, right? So xtest, what we have encoded and what we have decoded, we'll try to plot that here, and we'll see that the original image and the reconstructed image looks almost similar. So we have just trained for 10 epochs. We are able to see the network is able to generate the input, and whatever we pass in the input, it's able to generate it using the lower dimensional representation, which is latent representation. Okay, this is what autoencoder is meant to do in this simple case. There are other scenarios where you can uh, add noise to your particular, for generally, like if there is a noise to your particular input, you can try to denoise that particular image using autoencoders. So we'll see that in the next video, and with this video I'll conclude this particular sample here.